Hey, Life Groups, this is Joel, and man, I'm so excited that we're all meeting back together as Life Groups. I think we had a month off, and it's not that many weeks, but it kind of feels like a while, and so I know I'm looking forward to being back with my group this week, and I hope the rest of you groups are really excited to be meeting again. I just want to get a vision in front of us for what Life Groups are, and we're really following this pattern that was sent in the book of Acts. Chapter 2, verse 42, that talks about how everyone gathered together with the apostles' doctrine and fellowship and prayer and breaking of bread and those things. And so there's this sweet fellowship that happens. And fellowship's much more than just getting together and talking, even getting together and talking about Jesus, which is definitely a part of fellowship. But there's this partnership. There's this sharing life together that comes with that Greek word for fellowship, koinonia. And that's really our heart for these groups, is that there would be a partnership in life and in ministry and in the gospel together that we share, that can really happen during these life group times, and then even spread out throughout the week as we all hang together. We're a community and family in Jesus together, and that was really kind of the heart behind what life groups are. And then beyond that, you see what happens in the rest of the book of Acts, as the Lord uses that partnership to turn the world upside down. So this isn't even about just hanging out and talking about Jesus, but something that comes from this is that we start serving God together, and we start witnessing to the world together, and we see the Lord use weak men and women like us to turn the world upside down, because we chose to gather around the apostles' doctrine and prayer and fellowship, and something as simple as breaking bread, just eating together. And so I'm excited to see not just what the Lord does at life groups, but what He produces from them. And kind of on that note, we've been talking about evangelism lately. Pastor Trent has through the book of John, and being a witness of Jesus. And what we come back to, I think, is what we were really in the subject we were in a lot back in our last season of life groups through John, and that is the paradox of God's work meeting our work, and somehow how our work and God work together to make His will happen on earth, and that He's totally sovereign over things, and yet He refuses to not use people for whatever reason, inefficient as it may seem to us. He refuses to not use us, and that's my confusing way of saying He uses people. He uses men and women like you and I. And so and we came back to the topic of evangelism this week. So powerful, and one of my embedded into one of my questions is this idea of why don't we share the gospel? And I think all of us are guilty. I had intentions of doing it this last week. I went out to the store. I had some of our church business cards in my pocket, and I think I went to 2 stores or something, and each time I chickened out. I totally chickened out. And why is it so hard for us? Why was it so difficult for me to do that? Trent certainly pointed to 3 things: judgment and sin and righteousness that can kind of be an off-putting message to the world. And maybe that's part of it, but so I want that to be something we talk about tonight, and not just to talk about our failures in it, but to talk about it so that people like me, who are so scared to share the gospel so often, would be encouraged and get a vision for the mission of sharing the gospels with the lost world. Again, that's one of those things that can be birthed out of life groups and out of our fellowship together, is that we share the gospel with people. So I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys, that you guys have a great night together of eating and fellowship and prayer and talking about the word and all that. Have a great week, and we will see you soon.